And just like that, the first big shock upset in the knockouts. Germany are out in the round of 32 on penalties to Paraguay. Very disappointing result for me personally. Fantastic game. I think Paraguay absolutely earned that, and you have to tip your cap. There's going to be a lot of discussion about the disallowed goal, but quite frankly, my perspective has always been don't leave it in the hands of the officiating. Yes, I personally think that goal should have stood, but you should have done a lot more throughout that game to not be in that position. So that's the only time I'm going to mention that, and I'm just going to get right into it. This will be a little all over the place, believe it or not. I'm recording this, it's about 45 minutes after. So let's see. First thing, the Germans do lose on penalties. Of course they had to. They finally had to, right? Other than the time I could think of in 2012, but that was club football, so I digress. I mean, Havertz, what a fucking horrific penalty. I'm not a big fan of that stutter step. I never have been, but to hit a shot just so tame, pull side, comfortable height, that's a pathetic penalty. Voltamata, the other striker, misses his penalty. Jonathan Tah, the sixth penalty taker, skied it. Horrific. Gabrielle-esque, but I tend to blame them a little less, the guys who are after the first five. There's a reason they didn't want to take a penalty, but I thought Tah was a monster the whole game. And really tough for him to be the guy that misses that last one. But there's a lot of guys culpable. And again, I put more blame on the two center forwards who should have put their penalties away. And I feel like that's a good transition to my second point. The attack is awful. The attack was awful again. Havertz gets the goal, good flicked header, but before that, I don't recall a good action from him in that game, and not much after. Of course, because I spoke about his heading ability in the previous video, but like I did say in that video, he had another good chance towards the end of regulation and right at the keeper. So that, and crazy part is he was probably the best attacker out of the bunch. I mean, Sane is, I feel like, washed as a compliment. It's just so past him. There's a reason he doesn't play at Galatasaray. There's a reason. Florian Wirtz, I think he's a passenger, very comfortable just to not have much responsibility on his shoulders. And at the end of the day, it might not be fair, but there's a reason there was so much money spent on you. There's expectation from you, and there's expectation from all of these guys. And again, just not really having a huge impact on the game like you would expect from a player of allegedly his caliber. And then Musiala, he comes off the bench. Undav didn't have an impact at all when he started today. Musiala's trying, which is, that's, I guess, the standard right now in this German attack. At least he tried. That's what we're going with right now, because he was trying to take people on. And again, Musiala's strength is in those pockets, in the tight spaces, but he's just not the same player he was. And he's so young. There is time. Hopefully he gets some well-deserved rest and comes back a better player, but he's not the guy we saw when he first burst onto the scene. So there's a lot to dissect. And yes, Lennart Carl's injury does hurt to not have him at the tournament, but I don't think a literal child would have been the savior that this German team really needed. So really disappointing from the attack in general. Third thing, Paraguay absolutely deserved this. I touched on it at the beginning, but I mean, they got the first goal. They were so compact in that entire first half. And even after their goal, yes, Germany equalized. Yes, Germany scored at the end and it gets disallowed, but there weren't very many clear-cut chances. And I think you have to give a lot of credit to that Paraguay team, because defending for that long without the ball, it is not easy. But it'll be a little easier if you have a goal to defend. And what a goal. Lazy defending, in my opinion, but again, deserved. I think that's the important word. Paraguay absolutely deserved this, and they got slated by everybody, me included, because of their first game against the United States. But man, if they turn it around, they've got a very tough challenge potentially in the next round, but I do not think they care at all. What a story, and really just truly good for them. And it sounds so patronizing, but I genuinely mean it. Like, this is well deserved. Anyone who's supporting Paraguay, you deserve this, and go celebrate. Fourth thing, back to the German side of things, just zero urgency. There was no urgency from this team for me, really the whole game. I mean, the first half, that can happen. 0-0, you go into half and then you pick it up a little bit. There was no urgency really throughout the whole game. Yes, they got their equalizer early on in the second half, but they didn't push for more. They did not keep pushing. And again, it just looked like they were going through the motions. And at this level, I just find that unacceptable. So I don't even know what else to say on that point. How can you not have a sense of urgency in the World Cup knockout stages for a team who hasn't been to the World Cup knockout stages since 2014? It's embarrassing to say that there was no urgency. That shouldn't have even been a thought in my head. The players shouldn't even see. I told you guys I'd be a little all over the place, but that shouldn't even be something coming into my mind as a fan watching the team. There should absolutely be a sense of urgency, and it's just incredibly disappointing. And then the fifth thing, last and final thing, a little more of a open forum, but definitely wasn't enough to beat Paraguay, as we just saw today. Even if that goal gets allowed, you squeaked by in extra time and needed that set piece goal in the second half of extra time just to move on. This would have gotten really ugly if they played France, based on what I'm seeing, and something just has to change. And the problem is, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that something is, but again, they have not won a World Cup knockout game since 2014. It's been 12 years, and it's going to be 16 if we're lucky. So whether that's within the federation, coaching change, but again, I don't really blame Nagelsmann that much, because when you look at the options available, what else? What would have been the optimized Germany team? Because the more I kept looking at the team, and I'm not a fan of this typically, but 3-4-3 looked like the only thing that made sense. Schlotterbeck getting hurt obviously throws a wrench in that, and I don't think it is a viable option without him. But a back three of him, Ta, Rudiger, Brown and Kimmich wingbacks, Pavlov. You just drop the wingers, because the wingers are awful. They have no available wingers. The only one is Sane, and then Wirtz is shoehorned in on the left. I just don't know where they go. I do not know where they go from here. Germany's going to need to produce some good wingers in the next 4 years, because it's just not good enough. I can't believe Sane played as much as he played in this tournament. So much needs to change, but we'll see. What do you guys think it was? What was the biggest problem for Germany in this World Cup? Because after that first game, it just seemed like it slowly kept going downhill. And yeah, I'll hold my hands up. I absolutely overlooked Paraguay. I was more of the thought that they would win this game comfortably, to be honest with you, and then lose to France. That's what I thought was going to happen. But that's why you do not overlook anybody in this competition. Paraguay fully deserved to win this game today in advance. And Germany have to go back to the drawing board. But even that might be too tame, because, again, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. And something does have to be done. I feel like a term I throw around a lot is heads need to roll, but they do. And as much as I want to blame solely one player, you might know who that is. This is a team thing. This is a team thing. It goes beyond just one player up top who's terrible at the sport. But let me know what you guys think. Where did it go wrong for Germany? What do they need to do going forward? Is Nagelsmann the right guy, or does he get back into club football? We will see. I'm still really excited to watch the rest of this World Cup, but very disappointed that Germany are going to be out at such an early stage. Yet again, we are chasing that high from 2014, and maybe one day we see it again. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Doing a lot of World Cup content still, even though Germany is eliminated. So keep your eyes peeled on the channel. We will be doing a live show tomorrow. So tune into that and take care. Peace. See you later.